Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Trina here with a new video for you. Welcome to What If Deku Met Ryoko Part 19. I just wanted to greet you guys by just saying, sit back and relax, you're in for a treat. So, we begin. The 1A students underwent the provisional license examination. Events unfolded pretty much like in canon. The major changes involved Bakugo and Ryoko. The bomb youth was a little less offensive to the HUC members, but he was still very abrasive. Ryoko made several mistakes during the rescue exercises. Both individuals ended up not passing the exam because of these mistakes. In addition to Ryoko and Bakugo, Todoroki also failed the exam, for the same reasons in canon. These results shocked the three and everyone in 1A. Those three were some of the best students in 1A. Izuku and the others tried to console their friends, but the three still wore depressed faces. However, Mera, the very tired man who was running the test, gave the three and the other students that failed a chance to take a special course to amend the shortcomings that caused them to fail. Once they complete this course and a final exam, they would be giving a provisional hero license like their peers. All three agreed to this proposal. Izuku and Melissa both took pictures of their new provisional licenses and sent them to All Might and Katsuhito. Both men were filled with pride that their successors had successfully crossed this goalpost on their paths to being heroes. Meanwhile, the villains were undergoing a baptism of fire. Shigaraki and his Vanguard Action Squad were in fierce combat against the overpowered Gigantomachi. All of them were beyond exhausted, and they were no closer to defeating the brute. During a break in the combat, Toga was the first one to voice the group's displeasure.
Tomura, this is no fun! My clothes are all dirty, and we have been out here for weeks now!
Shigaraki paid no attention to his complaining teammate. He was so delirious that he could only focus on the task at hand. He was so determined to get the power of AFO that he would die before giving up. Just then, an attack droid showered the group with bullet fire. The group dodged and hid behind nearby rocks and trees. A voice spoke from the droid.
Tomura Shigaraki, I am Redestro, leader of the Metahuman Liberation Army. We have decided to come out of hiding, now that All Might has retired and All For One has been captured. This is the perfect time for true liberation to begin.
If that is the case, then why are you attacking me?
You and your group would be a greater barrier against liberation than the heroes, so we decided to take care of you first.
You certainly think highly of yourself.
We have nearly limitless funding and powerful connections throughout the country. There is no way you can win.
As he finished that line, Dabi threw a fireball at the droid, causing it to burst into flames.
You were right, Tomura. That guy's annoying. What do you want to do?
In a frazzled voice, Shigaraki responded,
We are going to use Gigantomachia to finish off our new enemies for us.
The exhausted man then laid out his plan. The brute would follow him wherever he went, so they would attack this liberation army directly. Shigaraki and his followers attacked the city that the Liberation Army controlled. The battle started with the League on the defensive. The citizens of the city had all been trained how to fight using their quirks. During the battle, Toga and Magna were seriously injured. Twice saw this and became outraged at the fact that his friends had been so severely hurt. This led him to break his own rule against creating copies of himself. He created a deluge of clones, calling it Sad Man's Parade. Sad Man's Parade. This powerful move took out many of the enemy forces. It also allowed Twice to get Toga and Magna to safety. It was at this point that Machia busted onto the scene. He plowed through buildings and destroyed large areas of the city, looking for the whelp who would try to be his master. He was as much a danger to the League of Villains as the Liberation Army. Tomura got into a heated battle with Redestro. During the struggle, he recovered his childhood memories. He remembered the abuse he suffered at the hands of his father. He also remembered how his family did nothing as he was punished so unfairly. The simmering hatred in his mind started to boil like lava. Finally, he remembered the night his quirk activated. He remembered the horror of seeing his family and home reduced to dust. Now, though, he realized that he was too young to understand that he wanted to kill all of them. When he did, he felt something that he never had before: joy. Tomura now knew the reason he hated All Might and the heroes so much. They had failed him. For many hours after he had destroyed his family, he wandered the streets covered in blood with a traumatized expression on his face. No one would help him. They all said a hero would be there to help him, but no one hero came. The one that did show up was him, his master. The words the dark man spoke still ring in his mind.
You have lived a hard life, haven't you, Tinko Shimura? No one has come to save you. A hero will come, they said. You did nothing wrong. I am here for you.
The realization that he had sealed away his own power dawned on him. Tomura had decided not to hold back anymore. He would use all of his power to destroy the heroes and the garbage society that they created. With that vow, he unleashed his power in totality. A wave of decay engulfed the city. It destroyed buildings, houses, and people. Only the most capable found a way to dodge the tsunami of rust and ash. The end of the battle had Tomura standing victorious, but his arm was severely damaged from using his quirk. Redestro was left without his legs, laying on the ground with a terrified look on his face. Tomura could have destroyed Redestro, but he decided not to. He decided that he would use the Loud Man, his army, and his resources to achieve his mission of destroying society completely. This was an interesting end to the battle. However, Makia was still rampaging, and Tomura was in no shape to counter him. Fortunately, the doctor had been watching. He played a recording of AFO that told the giant to stop. The beast froze in place and went into a sleep-like state. Over the next few weeks, the League of Villains joined with the Metahuman Liberation Army. The two groups were renamed the Paranormal Liberation Front. Tomura Shigaraki was named the Grand Commander. The other members of the Vanguard Action Squad were made lieutenants. Shigaraki met with the doctor. The bald man agreed to let the thin man with the destroyed arm undergo the procedure to enhance his body and allow him to fully inherit All for One.
I originally created this process for a master, but you will benefit nicely from it. The next 10 months will be absolute agony for you, but if you can endure it, you will emerge with the world in your hands.
4 months passed. Ryoko, Bakugo, and Todoroki all completed their extra exam training and their final test. Directly after the three stopped a group of hoodlums from robbing civilians on the street. It was a dramatic way to first use their provisional hero licenses. The other members of Class 1A were overjoyed. However, the 1A members were horrified by the interviews that Bakugo gave after the robbery. Fortunately, the reporter cut the bomb-tempered youth out of the interviews. A short while later, a meeting was taking place between All Might, Night Eye, Principal Nezu, and Gran Torino at the UA campus.
Thank you, gentlemen, for meeting with me today. It is my pleasure, Principal Nezu. Same here. It has been a while since I have been at UA. Brings back a lot of memories.
All Might cringed a little at the thought of his former teacher's memories.
Be that as it may, we have a lot to discuss.
The other three men nodded in agreement.
Let's get started then. All Might, I hear that some disturbing information came to light during your battle with AFO? That is true. The villain told me that Tomura Shigaraki was Nana Shimura's grandson. It shocked me to my core when I heard that. It is possible that he was lying to create an opening to kill Toshinori. However, that is something the villain would do, and we don't know what happened to Shimura's son.
Gran Torino recounted how Nana Shimura placed her son in foster care after her husband was killed. She hoped that the kid would be able to grow up happy and far away from the dangers of the hero's life. This left all of the men with looks of sadness and disappointment on their faces, especially Gran Torino. The man looked like this talk was bringing back some memories he would rather forget.
I need to find him. And do what? You are not looking at the boy for the villain he is. Tsukaichi and I will investigate Shigaraki and the League without you for now. On that front, I have some information that might be helpful in your search. We can discuss it later. I have a feeling that the principal has something more important on his mind. You are right, Night Eye. I have gotten orders from the Heroes Public Safety Commission that all Hero Course students are to be placed in Hero Work Studies. That seems strange. Work studies are usually optional. What caused the change? My guess would be that the Commission is worried about the state of society with All Might's retirement. Of course, they might have information about something in the works that they don't want to be made public. It is likely the first one, but I would not discount the second option. Anyway, I brought you two here to discuss Melissa Shield, Izuku Midoriya, and Ryoko. I know that you've been keeping an eye on them, All Might. I watched your input on them concerning the Commission's new orders.
The former number one looked at his former sidekick in the eye. The two nodded in silent agreement.
Night Eye and I have discussed this at length. We had planned for the three to join Night Eye's agency for the work studies during their second year. True, but with this new mandate from the Commission, our plans will have to change. I agree with you, gentlemen. Ensuring that the students receive the proper training has always been important. After all, they will bear the weight of protecting society one day. But I feel that goal is even more important now. True, Principal. Even though I took down All for One, the evil he led has not gone away. If anything, the villains are more dangerous now. They are leaderless and fighting among themselves for position. My agency has been seeing that lately. Several factions, not just the League of Villains, seem to be trying to position themselves to be the new leader. The same could be said for the heroes. With Toshinori retired, many of them are struggling to stay strong. Endeavor will take the number one spot when the new standings are assigned soon, but people are less than enthusiastic about him in that position. Be that as it may, Night Eye, you plan to take both Izuku Midoriya and Melissa Shield for the work studies? Yes, sir. I will also be taking Ryoko on. She is an interesting young lady. I feel that is more to her than meets the eye. All Might has told me a lot about Izuku Midoriya. He seems to be really promising, and I have been watching Melissa with keen interest as the successor of One for All. I think they will get along well with my current work-study student. That is right. I almost forgot that he's been working with you for over a year. Yes, even though these three are just first years, they should give him a challenge.
Nezu nodded in agreement.
Very well. I'll be having a meeting this afternoon to announce to the rest of the staff about the commission's plan. The teachers will be placing their other students in agencies with good track records of work studies. You two can inform Shield, Midoriya, and Ryoko as you wish.
All Might got up from his chair.
We will inform Melissa and Midoriya after their training today.
Gran Torino got a confused look on his face.
What about the third student, Ryoko? She is off campus today. That is right. She handed in a form to go off campus the other day. I wonder what is up with her.
This video is sponsored by Skillshare. With the services Skillshare provides, you can get access to many in-depth tutorial videos on basically anything you want to learn. Each class that they have is bound to help you with your creative endeavors. Do you want to learn how to make videos like this one? Do you learn how to write scripts or edit audio? Skillshare has you covered. And with our link, you can have a 14-day free trial. So what are you waiting for? Click the link now and get 14 days worth of classes free. Link in description below. It turned out Ryoko had gotten a call from Katsuhito. Aizawa had her fill out the permission form to leave campus for the day. She was currently on a train heading towards the old man's home in the mountains. She would have preferred to fly there, but she was told that was against the law, without a hero license. This bummed her out. After a 2-hour train ride and a 15-minute walk, she arrived at Katsuhito's place. The gray-haired man opened the door with a smile.
Good afternoon, Ryoko. Thank you for coming so quickly.
Well, you made it sound important. So, what is going on? The old man had a pensive look on his face. After a moment of silence, he replied,
Come in and have a seat.
Katsuhito led the spiky-haired girl to the couch in the living room. As Ryoko sat down, she noticed there was a cage with a blanket over it sitting next to the old man. However, Ryoko did not think that it was called a cage. She believed they called it an animal crate.
I will get straight to it. I was in my garden the other day and I found a strange creature eating my carrots.
I am sorry to hear that. What does that have to do with me? Ryoko had a sinking feeling in her gut, but she hoped it wasn't true. Katsuhito removed the blanket from the crate. Inside was a small rabbit-like creature with black and white fur. It had a red gem in the middle of its head and a very feline face. The creature looked up at Ryoko and smiled.
I believe you know what this is.
Ryoko opened the crate and the creature jumped into her arms. It then started nuzzling her affectionately. This is Ryoki. He's the bioform of my spaceship. Ryoko's face had a sad look on it. I knew he would regenerate eventually, but I did not think it would be this soon. She ran her fingers through Ryoki's soft fur.
Well, that means you can leave the planet now if you want to. The question is, will you?
I have wondered in the back of my mind, for a while now, what I would do if this happened. Even now that it has arrived, I still do not know.
I figured it would be an easy decision to make for a wanted space pirate. You could leave right now and no one would be able to stop you.
That is true, but my time here has been wonderful. I have made so many friends and met so many good people. I have never met such good people in my life.
The people of this world are extraordinary in that way. That is one of the main reasons I decided to settle among them so long ago.
Ryoko looked down at the cabbit in her arms with a wistful look. Old man, could you look after Ryoki for me?
I will, but that doesn't answer the big question. What will you do?
I need to stay for a while longer. There's something gearing up. Izuku and the others are going to need my help.
You are not wrong about that. The villains do seem to be getting more active. I can also sense a growing darkness on the horizon. One would think with the big bad behind bars, it would have diminished. But no, it has gotten worse by the day. Something huge and dangerous is coming.
Katsuhito looked at Ryoko with a grim look.
Be careful, Ryoko. Keep an eye on my grandson for me. I have a feeling you will both be facing your greatest threat yet.
Back at UA, All Might and Night Eye had summoned Melissa and Izuku to the teacher's lounge for a meeting. Both teens sat across from the two men, wondering what was going on. All Might served tea to everyone.
Thank you both for coming. I know this was your off day, but there is much we need to discuss.
Uncle Might, can I ask why your old sidekick is here? I was wondering that too.
You could address me directly. It is impolite to talk about people like they are not in the room.
Sir Night Eye glared at the two teens with a fearsome stare. Both teens freaked out at the menace in the thin man's eyes.
Night Eye has come here to extend an offer for you both to work with him for a hero work study.
Both teens replied with a confused tone at the same time. Hero work study?
Yes, your teachers will be revealing this to all of you soon. We felt it important to tell you too early because of your unique situation. Melissa being the current holder of One for All, and Midoriya's power coming from his extraterrestrial ancestry.
You know about that, sir? All Might smiled.
He is my old sidekick, as you said. He's aware of everything concerning One for All and my battle against All for One. I also felt it important that he knew about young Midoriya. Don't worry, I got your grandfather's permission.
Izuku breathed a sigh of relief.
It's true. I must say that I was not in agreement when All Might told me he was transferring the quirk to you, Melissa. However, All Might has kept me apprised of your progress. I'm happy to see that I was wrong. You've done well with the power.
Melissa smiled at the praise. Thank you, sir.
Of course, I was very surprised to hear about the changes in the quirk. To think that it was stockpiling powers as well as energy.
Yeah, about that. I have been having visits from the previous users. They told me that All for One is still the threat. They say that something strange is happening with his quirk. Both All Might and Night Eye were surprised by this information. Both were confused, but worried looks.
I was worried about this. Even being placed into the depths of Tartarus was not enough to stop him. It wouldn't surprise me if he planned on getting captured. Something you want to share, Night Eye?
Night Eye thought about the conflicting reports he had read about the recent attack on Deku City. He also thought about all of the unrest in the country that had happened after AFO's capture. He could not be sure if his thoughts were accurate, so he said nothing.
I see. Let's get back to the kids.
All Might turned to his students.
The Hero Work Studies are an advanced version of the internships you took part in earlier this semester. For many reasons, the Hero Public Safety Commission has made this program mandatory for all Hero Course students. The fact is we would like the two of you to do your studies with me. I will also be extending an offer to Ryoko as well.
Izuku and Melissa got up and asked the two heroes for a moment alone. They walked out into the hall and slid the door shut behind them. What do you think? Well, it would be a great opportunity. Sir Night Eye did work directly under Uncle Might. He is also a powerful pro in his own right. Izuku got that fanboy glow in his face and his eyes became huge. I know! His ability is foresight. It lets him see the future of his opponents. Before Izuku could go into an epic rant, Melissa interjected. I think we should do it. He could help both of us become better heroes. I agree. Let's give it our all and go beyond. Plus Ultra. The teens went back into the lounge and accepted the serious man's offer. Night Eye handed the two his business cards.
Be at the address on the card first thing Monday morning. I look forward to working with you too.
During all of this, the pro-hero Hawks had been sent to infiltrate the Meta-Human Liberation Front, now the Paranormal Liberation Front. He had been secretly sending the information back to the Hero Commission. He also secretly handed off information to Endeavor, who had been named the new #1 hero. The Flame Hero then passed this information on to Sir Night Eye and the other heroes UA and reached out for the work studies. For the past 4 months, Hawks had been trying to get closer to the Shigaraki and the leadership of the Liberation Army. He had gotten closer to Dabi, but he knew the Patchwork villain did not completely trust him. What information he had gotten made his blood run cold. If the info was correct, the heroes only had 6 more months until the Liberation Army attacked. He hoped that Endeavor and the other heroes had gotten his message. Meanwhile, deep in the Liberation Army headquarters, Shigaraki floated in his incubation tank. The doctor had completed the painful enhancements to the thin man's body. Now it was just a matter of time. The tank would allow the process to be complete in 6 months. The doctor could not wait to see his masterpiece complete. Soon after, All Might and Night Eye met with Izuku and Melissa. Nezu called a staff meeting. He explained the mandate from the commission. Aizawa and the other teachers were very concerned about these orders. They did not like the idea of sending their students into unnecessary danger. It went against their oaths as teachers and heroes. After much discussion, they all agreed that the students would not mature into proper heroes if they shielded them from the evil of the world. They all agreed that the best thing they could do was place the students in hero agencies with good work-study track records. The next week, Aizawa called 1A together. He explained what work studies were and how they differed from internships. After a short explanation, he got into the important information.
With all of that, I now need to tell you that you will all be taking part in a work study.
This surprised the class.
In years past, this program was voluntary. However, with All Might's retirement, the higher-ups feel that we need to start training the next generation of heroes in earnest. That is why the change.
Izuku and Melissa looked at each other with a knowing glance. While they knew all this information beforehand, it was still a shock to hear it out loud.
I felt that it was important for all of you to hear about the work studies program from people who have been through it.
Aizawa turned to the door.
You can come in now.
The door slid open, and 3 third-year students walked in.
These are 3 students who stand at the top of the UA student body. You probably know them as the Big 3.
Standing in front of the class was Mirio Togata, Nijire Hado, and Tamaki Amajiki. Thank you all for indulging yourselves in all this information thus far. I hope you enjoyed it. Now there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, I'd like to thank our patrons, BD Flames, Ethan Davis, Terry Chills, Shifter Melees, Adam Zagil, XAV Beat 03, Zill, and Joshua Phelps. Secondly, I'd also like to thank all of our YouTube members, Toya Costa, Rob the King, Sith Lord 906, CF2364 and Knuckles, Remu Tempest, Angel Juarez, Donald C. Stewart, Bryant Greer, and Refict 135. Thirdly, if you're in the mood for some great storytelling, We the Celestials has you covered. Our We the Celestials, My Hero Academia, and Naruto What If channels retell the story of their namesake anime with a twist. Check it out if you're interested. Fourthly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in today's excellent content production. Their details can be found in the description below. Lastly, if you're interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, I'd like to extend an invitation to join the team. The only caveat is that we only accept members from 16 years old to join our crew. You can sign up for whichever category fulfills your interest by joining the recruitment Discord using the link in the description below. We're always looking for members to join us. And if you want more content from me, check out my live streams at Trina Do Heart on Twitch, and also my social media on YouTube and Twitter as well. Well, that's it from us for today's video. So thank you all for watching, and have a great day.